Now, when the learning task has been replaced by technology and functional enhancements have been introduced, that's when we've reached the augmentation phase of the SAMR framework. At this second level, technology is still acting as a substitute for the original learning design. However, technological enhancements are augmented into the learning task and contribute towards enhancing the entire learning experience. When one considers all of the many wonderful and varied features that technology can introduce, there is little wonder that student engagement increases at this stage. Scribble Maps is a mapping tool that boasts a few nifty features. This online tool offers a fully controllable world map and, as the name suggests, allows users to annotate or scribble all over it. Using the various tools, users can add lines, shapes, text and pins as they create their maps. Scribble Maps is easy to learn how to use, and best of all, it's free. Scribble Maps has been used to replace the paper version of Akara's work sample, Data Response, Spatial Distribution of Global Poverty. And I've used it to introduce some new functional enhancements. Now, this Scribble Map has been designed so that the learners can find the instructions first up. The first pin, the eye, gives the instruction. The second pin provides the chloroplet map. And clicking on the third pin is where the learners will find the questions they need to answer. Instead of answering the questions on a Word document or in their books, students now use a Google form, and this has been embedded directly into Scribble Maps. This brings the questions right into the middle of the action. You see, students can take the pin with them. Therefore, no matter where on the globe they travel to, the questions can go with them and can be answered at any time. And the fact that the questions are sitting in Google Forms, this adds another wonderful level of functionality, this time for the teacher. You see, Google Forms automatically collates student responses into a spreadsheet. And both the form and the spreadsheet are stored in Google Drive. Now, Scribble Maps isn't called that for nothing. You see, another feature that can be augmented into the learning task involves, of course, scribbling over the map. In this particular case, students are using the drawing tool to help them identify the border of Bangladesh. This will support the students with studying their chosen country in greater detail. Scribble Maps also helps to calculate distances and directions, which are fundamental mapping skills that exist at the core of geographic inquiry. One of the questions in the activity asked for the location of places in relative terms or in relation to Australia. The new functional enhancement built into Scribble Maps not only builds ICT capability, but also allows students to demonstrate their geographic understanding and to build their skills with geospatial technology. Scribble Maps also provides the opportunity to add imagery and video to the geographic data being studied. Augmenting this media into the learning task means that students can begin to build an appreciation of the plight of the poor in these countries, rather than learning about them from a purely statistical point of view. These visual representations add an emotional and even an ethical dimension to the statistics being studied. The purpose for responding to the data activity becomes less relegated to the world of statistics and more about a real-world problem. I believe this is important since these multimedia representations of poverty add depth, substance and explanation to the trends, patterns and conclusions that the students will draw from interpreting the data. So when new functionality has been augmented into the learning task, we can see from the achievement standard that the learning outcomes remain the same. However, the fact that we've augmented media into the mapping task means that students are now using the visuals to explain characteristics of diverse places. They're using a range of sources to help answer their question. They are also representing the characteristics of places in different graphic forms. They're also interpreting other data, other information, to help them to draw conclusions and to recognise patterns and trends. Now come with me to the next stage of SAMR.